Hey everyone, and welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by Ash Paulson, Chuggaaconroy, and RogersBase to give our thoughts on the Animal Crossing Mobile Direct, or should I say Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. So let's get started. Alright guys, so we had our 15-minute Direct. We got a much better idea of exactly what to expect from Pocket Camp, and as a non-Animal Crossing fan, all the systems I saw in play here seemed pretty solid. Now, I don't know whether that's good for the average Animal Crossing fan or not, so I'm going to defer over to Roger. How did you feel about this?
I am actually very, very happy. And that's something that I don't think I was really expecting going into this. I thought that it was going to be like, well, I don't know, you guys heard our discussion. I didn't think it was going to be this in-depth. And honestly, the first 8 minutes of the Direct, 5 to 8 minutes, I was like, all right. They're showing the same fishing mechanics, all the same stuff. Give me something new. And the second we saw my boy Giovanni and Beppe, I like all of them. I'm really, really happy because from that moment on, we saw the custom RVs and then the real-time clock and the amenities with the pool and some of the new items that are in the shop. I saw there was a china dish and a luggage bag, and then I was like, all right, this is cool. We're actually getting new furniture and new stuff. And I was really worried that that wasn't going to be the case. So color me pleasantly surprised.
I can't believe they didn't announce a new Smash Brothers. That they didn't announce Animal Crossing for the Switch, even though they said they weren't going to. And I can't believe, above all else, that a free-to-play mobile title has microtransactions. How dare they want to make money off of this investment? But seriously, okay. It is more of a game than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I think a lot of people were basically just expecting Happy Home Designer out of this, or, some people were even saying, oh boy, here comes Amiibo Festival too, but you can fish, you can catch bugs, there's daily events, the world changes in real time, there's holidays going on. The only real difference is that the town's just been kind of downsized, and I can't believe how right I actually was in my predictions of it in the last discussion. Just, I guess, replace garden with campground, but I kind of nailed it.
Hey, I was going to say, they showed a garden in this.
Yeah.
They did show a garden, so I was I did my live reaction stream right before we recorded this, and I was like, oh my god, Chugga got it right.
Yeah, I was watching this, I'm like, man, you really did get a lot of these predictions right, just with the direction you were going in the predictions.
Yeah, I was very surprised though, but yeah, sure enough, you manage a smaller outdoorsy type area. I don't know why, though, but it just kind of seems like Animal Crossing has, a camping fetish lately, though. But it's just every update they add to the game involves camping, and then this game's all about camping. And, I like the whole summer camp look, though, but it does kind of seem like that. I will say that I was not expecting that you would have, kind of an outdoorsy area to customize, and then you would also finally get your own RV, so you still would have a house to customize and everything. I thought that was nice, and I also I like the fact that you can actually go around and catch bugs and fish and stuff like that, like you do in Animal Crossing. If it could have an encyclopedia for us completionists, I'd be even happier.
I'm actually really happy you brought that up, because I saw somebody in my chat mentioning that, they were upset that there wasn't a museum in this, and I'm actually really happy that there's not, because I think it's cool that they're separating that, where it's this really is a pocket-sized version of Animal Crossing, even more so than the ones that we've had on 3DS, because naturally the series has been focused on handheld for a long time now, and it really does seem like they're introducing ideas here that are sort of maybe a testing ground for things they're going to eventually put in a Switch version. But a lot of the things they're introducing here, the little market where you could sell your fish and sell your items to your friends that come to visit your campsite, even though it's not really a museum where you're showing it off, you're actually selling them. I thought that was really cool. I love that we have actual skin tones in Animal Crossing now.
Yes.
And I love that you don't have to go to the frickin' poodle shop to change your hair and to change the color and to change your skin tone. It's all just right there, right from the get-go. Don't get me wrong, I love the little poodle girl, but I really am happy about this, and I hope that's something to carry over into the actual Switch game. I was very happy about that.
It's really funny. I have a video coming out tomorrow where I complain that you can't just choose your skin tone and eye color, and it was recorded 2 days ago.
Yeah, I really love that is just baked into the game from the get-go. That's something that probably should have happened a long time ago with this series. But
yeah.
I gotta chime in here as a casual fan and say that I like what I saw tonight. I feel like I could totally get a good time out of this. I actually am still playing Fire Emblem Warriors and having a good time, even though I have not spent a dime on it. And this seems to be...
How about Fire Emblem Heroes as well?
Oh, I meant Heroes. You know what I mean. Such a smart ass.
Yeah.
But no, so Fire Emblem Heroes I've played a ton of since it came out, and I still haven't spent a dime on it. And I gotta go with what you were saying, Emil. I was expecting more of a happy home designer type experience here, but no, this looks more akin to a full Animal Crossing game, just with the town downsized, and I'm perfectly down with that. And yeah, I have to say, I'm really pleasantly surprised with everything I saw tonight, and I haven't played New Leaf probably in several months, but I got a lot of playtime out of that game, and this is exactly the kind of thing I would pop into for a few minutes without feeling like I need to spend money, because I'm not like a hardcore Animal Crossing fan. So I really love what I'm seeing here, and the one thing I'm happy about is that Reese is back. She's like one of my favorite townspeople. She's one of my favorite animals in the whole series. She's just so damn cute. So Reese is back. I'm happy.
Don't let Cyrus know that you think that.
I know, right? And I think that's also one of my favorite things about her is how jealous he gets. Like, they're such a cute couple. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I also like that Cyrus plays a more major role in this one, because he was kind of a minor character before.
True.
Yeah, that's another thing that I want to bring up is the crafting, where like you have cotton and wood and actual materials to build stuff. And I'm wondering if, again, they did show new furniture, but it was all shown in the shopping area. I'm wondering if maybe like there will be new furniture sets that you can craft exclusively, that you have to go to Cyrus to like give him the specific materials to actually create this cool new item, and then maybe you could transfer that item into one of the full games a little down the line. I think that'd be awesome. But the whole crafting idea is just like, again, that seems like something that's a little overdue, but once they announced it here, I'm like, good, finally, bring it on in, I'm excited.
Yeah, and actually, you just touched on something, Roger, that I've been thinking about as well, and I think I brought this up in a recent discussion, but I hope and expect that there will be some sort of connectivity between Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and the inevitable Switch version of Animal Crossing whenever that hits.
That's kind of the thing, is that one of the very few details that we knew about this before tonight was that it would link up to, it was worded like an Animal Crossing game for dedicated gaming devices, is how Kimishima worded it, and there was no mention of that tonight, so I take that as basically confirmation that it's not connecting with New Leaf in any meaningful way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is them saying, this isn't going to connect with New Leaf, but hey, if you've been following those investor reports, you probably know that this is going to connect with something at some point, so look forward to the January Direct, please understand.
For those of you like complaining that they didn't confirm Animal Crossing for the Switch, maybe they kind of actually did.
Did a little bit,
It's kind of
or to read between the lines a little bit.
Bonus for Chugga, he doesn't have to do a Season 3 for New Leaf.
I love Palette. I love Palette, but just how am I going to end this thing 3 times?
Or what if they took the Fire Emblem Warriors and Hyrule Warriors Legends approach of having the new Animal Crossing game on both Switch and 3DS?
I don't know.
And it connects to either version. I don't think they will. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not.
Okay. How many people actually knew that there was a 3DS version of Fire Emblem Warriors? I remember telling people about it like at E3, and everyone's like, "There is?" And I think at that stage they hadn't even released a screenshot of it. We just had box art, and that was all. But sorry, Derek, a couple times now you've been trying to say something. What is it?
Oh no, I'm perfectly happy letting you guys go free and have this discussion because I don't know Animal Crossing as well, so I'm really excited to see you guys so excited for this, because it's so easy with these mobile titles to just be like, it doesn't really capture the feel of the game. I have these issues here and there, and I think where maybe the issues are going to come in, and I'm curious how you guys feel about this, and you kind of already addressed this in the beginning, Emil. How do you guys feel about these Leaf tickets and how that's how they're going to get the real life transactions in, how they're used for building things quicker, supplementing materials, just other things that you might need here and there, sort of an all-purpose item. Now, like Fire Emblem Heroes, there's a way to earn them daily in-game. So I do like, personally, how they balance that out in the same way. But I'm curious how you guys all feel about that. Let's start with you, Chugga, since you're the one that brought up the whole microtransactions.
Well, we already know, of course, from the Direct itself, that you do have ways of obtaining these in-game. They are not purely based on microtransactions. I don't know if it's inherently a good thing or a bad thing, because we don't know how forgiving it is. Like, until the game actually releases, we don't know how much these things are going to cost. We don't know the frequency in which you're going to obtain them. It is kind of expected that it would have something like this in the game, just out of being a mobile title released for the iPhone. It's just kind of expected in that environment. But basically, this looks like a kind of game that you would turn on each morning, you know, kind of maybe wake up with it, play it for a few minutes, and then maybe when you just need to pass a minute here or a minute there, you'd pull it up for that. For a game of that kind of nature, where it's not really like story driven or like you're leveling up in an RPG or anything like that, I think it's fine. Like, as long as it's not like super unforgiving, which I don't know, it might be. Of course, everything I say could just be null and void by that. I fully admit that. I think that that's a fine system that usually in this type of game isn't super invasive because you're not playing it for, you know, several hours a day to begin with.
Yeah. I agree with everything that Chugga has said. I mean, like, when I was watching this and they mentioned that it takes 72 hours to build your pool or whatever, like 72 real hours, I'm assuming, maybe I missed it, but like, I'm assuming you could speed that up with Leaf tickets, right?
You can, yes.
Okay, so I'm thinking that that's probably going to be where the majority of people spend their money, is they're going to want to build these amenities and use the Leaf tickets to do that. But I mean, me personally, I've never spent money on Fire Emblem. I've never spent money on Pokemon Go, and I've spent lots and lots of time on both of those games and really enjoy it. And I think, like, for me, that's the fun of these types of games. You check your phone every morning and it's something new. Whereas, like, I don't know, I know it's not cheating. You could just, like, buy whatever you want and then you're good to go, but then you're done with it after a couple hours. Like, the whole point of the Animal Crossing games is to, like, build your town over time and see how things grow naturally. So I think it would kind of suck some of the fun out of the game to spend money on Leaf tickets. And the things that they're, you know, buying with it, it's like either the furniture or speeding up time. That's fine. That's nothing I'm ever going to utilize. That's not how I play Animal Crossing games. I've never, you know, skipped time. I knew you could go to the Eternal Clock or change to whatever. I've never done that. I'm not going to play this game like that. And the ways, again, that they're implementing it seem really natural. It's nothing that they're really, like, locking behind a paywall. It's all stuff you can get in the game naturally, albeit sometimes it takes 3 or 4 days to do it, but at least you can do it.
I do want to get your opinion in there real quick, Ash. But before we get to that, while I had this in my head, do you guys think the whole limited time outfits and seasonal events might be the devious part of this, where these amenity, like maybe holiday amenities, will be available and you only have so much time to get them, and if you want to get all of them, well, you might want to use those Leaf tickets or buy them in that way? And I'll ask you about that, Ash, first, so you can give your opinion on Leaf tickets and that question.
Oh, sure. I mean, they're already doing that in Fire Emblem Heroes. I almost said Warriors again. Fire Emblem Heroes, and because you get the summer swimsuit special, things where you can get swimsuit specific editions of certain characters, but once they're gone, they're gone. So 100%, Derek, that is going to be one of the most devious parts of this. But I have to say, I played a few gacha games, and like you guys said, we're not going to know yet for sure how this all shakes out in this game until we know just how forgiving or not the system is. But I have to say, in my opinion, past precedent is on Nintendo's side here, because if you take Fire Emblem Heroes as an example, I have never played another gacha game that is so unbelievably liberal with its in-game currency. Like, it's so easy to rack up orbs. I have like over 200 orbs right now, and I don't feel like I've never felt like, oh, I really want to buy some right now so I can I've never been lacking or wanting for orbs. So given that, if we're to use that as a base, perhaps Leaf tokens won't be that hard to come by in Animal Crossing either, and they'll make people like us who enjoy these kinds of games but aren't going to pay for them, aren't going to start becoming whales for them, they might be fun for us. So I don't know. I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach like you guys, but I am cautiously optimistic that this is going to be on the more forgiving side of, in-app purchases for gacha games.
Yeah, I mean, again, all the stuff that I mentioned earlier, it's like it was never unforgiving to me in, like, Fire Emblem. I've always gotten at least one of the characters that I want each season, and to me, like, I'm not a completionist player. I am when it comes to, like, the actual main Animal Crossing games, but they're not locking anything in the main games behind a paywall, so that's fine. Like, this is a side game that I'm playing on the go. Like, it really does not matter to me. And for me, again, it's like, it's cool. It's like, oh, I got a special Easter Camilla, and that was, like, the one thing that I got during that event. Or, like, during this most recent event, I was like, oh, I got the special Dancer Olivia, but I didn't need, like, all of them. I had no desire to have all of them. I already have so many powerful 5 stars that I've amassed just from doing orbs and, like, feathers. In terms of feathers, like, I've never spent money in the game, and I have so many feathers, I don't even know what to do with them, because I don't even have enough 4 stars to upgrade with all the feathers that I have. So, yeah, they are pretty liberal with it, and if Animal Crossing is anything like Fire Emblem, then I'm not really too concerned. And also for the seasonal stuff, like, why would you, if you're trying to rush to get all the seasonal stuff, like, yeah, sure, it would be nice to have it for that holiday, but why would you rush to have all the seasonal stuff and all the seasonal amenities that you would then have in your campsite that then you would have to take out later on in the year? Like, I wouldn't want to spend money on a Christmas tree that I'm not going to want in my village in February. Like, what? It just seems dumb to me. I know it's weird. Like, some people are like, well, what the heck? Like, why can't you just have it all year long? No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Why would you have a Christmas tree up in July? Why would you have, like, whatever else they're gonna do, like, I don't know. It just feels wrong to me to have.
You haven't had those
stuff.
neighbors that refuse to take down their Christmas stuff until like 3 or 4 months after Christmas?
I mean, my family is like that. Admittedly, like, we celebrate Russian Christmas too, and that goes like far into January. But still, in all, it's like January's acceptable. February, March, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
I think I summed it up pretty well the first time. The only like real additional thing to like say about any of this, I guess, is that Animal Crossing players are kind of already used to everything happening tomorrow. So having to wait a day or 2 or 3 for something to get built, I don't really think is that big a deal. And also the fact that you can use the coupons to speed it up and everything, the fact that you can obtain these in-game normally, maybe you could wait 2 days instead of 3 and not really have to pay anything for it, though, because in general Nintendo history with these sort of microtransaction games, they've traditionally been very forgiving, even going beyond Fire Emblem Fire Emblem Heroes. You got me doing it. Another example is Pokemon Rumble World. I've never needed to spend money on that game, though, because it'll be like, okay, you have 5 areas, and each of them you can only visit every 30 minutes, but if you play all of them, by the time you finish playing all of them, 30 minutes has passed, so just what's the point of this system?
Nice. So what other elements from this Pocket Camp have stood out to you? Do you see I guess one of the things that stood out as a potential abuse is how you can sell items to other players. And I assume you might be able to set the prices for those items. Do you see that being abused?
Ooh.
What this might be wrong, but I don't care. It's what territories is this game available in?
I don't know, honestly.
Because I know China has a very big problem with like farming in MMO games and like all these types of games. So like if this is a game that's available in China, it could actually genuinely become a problem and mess up the in-game currency. With that being said, maybe they'll region lock it, but I don't think they will.
If you can't exchange the gold for real cash, and like you can't contact other players like in a chat system ahead of time, I don't see how that would be possible, because the problem is people finding ways to convert, in this case bells, into real money by contacting people on websites and stuff like that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm thinking, is that maybe like somebody farms and gets all of these items and then sells it to their friend and sets up these websites. Because I mean, to be honest, let's look at Pokemon Go, right? There were people hacking Pokemon Go and traveling to France from the comfort of their apartment in Nebraska, getting Mr. Mimes a week into the game being announced. So that is a genuine issue and a big concern I have about like the mobile games moving forward from Nintendo, but I don't really think Fire Emblem's had a problem with it, so maybe it won't be a problem here.
Yeah, I don't think, I follow Fire Emblem somewhat closely, and I haven't heard anything about that being a problem like it has been in Pokemon Go so much. So,
and it's prevalent.
Yeah. I kind of feel like in general, if there's a way to, to spoof a game or to mess with it in some way, there are going to be people out there, no matter what, who are going to do that and capitalize on that. But, hopefully it's more like Fire Emblem seemingly, and that there really aren't too many ways to game the system. Or really any, if I can think of any.
Yeah.
So are there any particular villagers you're hoping to see? I'm guessing you all have favorites, but do you want to see, I guess, all the villagers, or do you think that like they're only going to have a select few and maybe introduce more and more as like certain holidays come around and that sort of thing?
I think they'll probably add more and more like as the game just, as more time passes. That seems like the kind of thing they could fairly easily do to keep the game alive and keep it, excitement going for the people who are just playing regularly, just by, adding new villagers every now and then. Certainly themed, villagers themed around holidays and such.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess all that's really left is, how do you guys feel about that late November release date? Does that seem like a good time for it, or does it not really matter for Animal Crossing? Just whenever it's out, fans will be ready and up for playing it. What do you think, Emil?
Release date's fine, really. I don't see any problem with it. I'm sure with it being a mobile phone title, people will find the time to play it.
I think the release date is only problematic if you're a Pokemon fan, because late November, it makes me think of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I'm like,
Yeah, but I feel like those are different, because like one's a phone game you're going to play for 5 minutes, and the other one is like a full-on RPG.
Yeah.
That's kind of my point, though. I don't really think much about it, though, because they've been releasing so much stuff this year anyway that, like, inevitably some games are going to slip away from me.
Yeah, I got to say I'm happy it wasn't a same-day release, because there's a lot of stuff I'm playing through right now that I need to finish. Like, I genuinely need to finish. We've got, like, Fire Emblem, and Odyssey, and Layton. I mean, there's, like, this month has been stacked. And so I really want to get through all of that and then just relax in late November, play some Animal Crossing on my phone while I'm taking my plane ride back home for Christmas. It'll be nice.
Derek, to answer your earlier question about particular villagers we'd like to see in the game, I hadn't thought of anyone then, but I just realized Blanca. Like, Blanca's one of my favorites just because the first time I ever saw Blanca in Wild World, I wasn't, the internet was different back then, and I wasn't really following Animal Crossing all that closely, so I had no idea why there were, and I was playing late at night by myself, and suddenly I just see this creepy cat with no face in my town, and I got like, I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, because I'm like, this is creepy. Why is there this random villager with no face wandering around my village at night? And so since then, Blanca has always been one of my favorite villagers, just for that weird, random, creepy factor alone. So I 100% want Blanca to just appear in my camp one night randomly. Just all they have to do is stand there. They don't have to say anything. Just be creepy. That's what I want. I want Blanca in this game.
That's amazing.
I just need my little homeless wrestler hamster. Clay is the best little buddy I've ever had in any Animal Crossing game, and I want him to come back. He's my choice.
Nice.
Well, I'm pretty sure we've actually covered everything that this game has to offer, at least in the broad strokes. As you said, a lot of it is a lot like other Animal Crossing games that you've played in the past. It's just in a mobile space in a smaller venue. And while I don't have much stake in the Animal Crossing franchise, I do think this is a pretty good representation of what the game's all about. And I think this is a good way to have it while also not disrupting console titles. And I think that's a hard balance to find. I'm actually very impressed with the design on this one. So, yep.
Well, and as we know, Nintendo's focus has been with these mobile titles. This may get enough non-gamers into Animal Crossing to then be like, "Whoa, there's a new Animal Crossing coming to the Switch. Maybe I should get it." That's they're trying to bring more people into their core business through their mobile titles, and something that plays so much like core Animal Crossing on the surface, but is just literally a lighter version of that, could do a great job getting people into a full Animal Crossing game when one is announced for Switch.
Yeah, I think it's fine, and I'm happy that they're not just like, rushing out the next main Animal Crossing game. And besides, if it came out this year, I would just be like devastated that it's coming out alongside everything else. It's
I
like,
know, right?
There's enough stuff this year, guys. It's okay. My only real concern for this is that we've seen you can do favors for animals, which, again, it is more of a game than we thought it would be, and, there's a lot more interactivity there. It's definitely much more of a game than Happy Home Designer was, but I'm a little worried that maybe like the animals won't have as much personality, that you can't just shoot the breeze with them and trade items and get humorous dialogue. I hope that is a part of the game, and that the animals are alive enough that you would want to just talk to them.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I hope so too, because so much of the enjoyment I get from that series comes from the delightful localization on the Treehouse's part, and I'm sure they'll do a great job with this as well. But as you were saying, Emil, there may not be as much of a chance for them to. There may not be as much flavor dialogue with each villager. So that's a good point. I agree with you. I hope that element is not lost in this game.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern with this, like, on the surface.
Well, any final thoughts on Animal Crossing Pocket Camp?
I thought the opening with Isabelle breaking the fourth wall the opening of the direct with Isabelle breaking the fourth wall was adorable, and I would love to see more stuff like that in the future.
Yeah, I think it's great. Again, it's way more than I expected. Super excited. I wish they had a more exciting narrator That's the only thing. I was like, there were some things near the ending where I was like, I wish the narrator was more hype about this, because I know there were all these other people like, these are new characters, there's new furniture items, this is so cool. That's an issue I've always had with the way they market Animal Crossing games, though, is like, all the way back from that City Folk commercial with like the two people playing, they go, oh, seashells over We Speak. I'm like, come on. I'd be like, my boy, here's a seashell. I haven't seen this in a long time. Go get the fishing rod. Let's fill up my museum. Yeah, let's do it, you know. So I wish there was a little more excitement. That I think would have been fun, but otherwise, like, outside of the presentation, I think the game itself is really cool.
All right, well, I think that covers it for our direct discussion, so thank you for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. And Roger, where can we find you at?
You can find me at RogersBase on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, and on Instagram. I just uploaded my live reaction, which happened right before recording this discussion, and now I'm going into recording another discussion about it. So lots of Animal Crossing discussions tonight. Look forward to those on my YouTube channel.
Cool. And what about you, Emil?
I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as Chuggaaconroy. I make Let's Play videos, and I'm currently making videos on Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo.
Awesome, awesome. And of course, make sure to subscribe to GameXplain for more on Animal Crossing and other things gaming as well. Until next time, bye.